Design and transition. This is the next value chain activity we're going to talk about. The purpose of the design and transition value chain activity is to ensure that the products and services are continually meeting the stakeholder expectations for quality, cost, and time to market. This is where we're going to make sure that we're figuring out how this product is actually going to be built. This is where we come up with all the designs for it and then plan how we're going to move it from an idea to actually being built and put out into the marketplace. There's lots of different inputs into the design and transition phase. When we start talking about design and transition, we have to take in things like portfolio decisions that come out of the planning area. We also want to make sure we understand the architectures and the policies that Plans has created. We're going to take things from the engagement area as well, things like product and service requirements that Engage has gotten from the customers and the consumers and other areas. We also want to make sure that we're taking into account the improvement initiatives and the plans that come out of the Improve process. We're also going to be looking at all of those improvement status reports that came from Improve so we can figure out how do we design things better next time. We're also going to take a look at all of our service performance information that comes out of our Deliver and Support and Improve processes. Are we meeting the service targets that have been set? Have we transitioned something successfully? All of these things are things we need to consider as we're designing and transitioning our services to take them from an idea and from a plan all the way out into a real usable thing that is going to be delivered to a consumer to use. All of this happens inside of this design and transition area. Now, as we start looking at this, we're also going to take in some things that come from the obtain and build process. Things like what service components are available. Obtain and build already has a lot of things that have been built. Maybe as we're designing a new service, we can reuse some of the things that already exist and use them in our new service. And finally, we have to consider the knowledge and information. Now, knowledge and information is going to come from two different places. First, we have knowledge and information about third-party service components from Engage. This is where we're going to be considering, just like we did for Obtain and Build, what things are available to use. But now we're doing it from a third-party partner or a supplier perspective. If we know that our supplier has this type of capability, then we can help better design and transition something that works around that capability. The other part of knowledge and information is the knowledge and information about new and changed products and services. This is what we're going to get from our Obtain and Build. As we have built and obtained things, we're going to get the product specifications, the known errors, and other information. And all of that can serve as an input into this design and transition activity. Now, as far as outputs from this activity, we're going to be looking at getting things like the requirements and the specifications and passing those over to the Obtain and Build. So as I've designed this brand new service that's going to do voucher fulfillment for my students, I need to come up with what the requirements and specifications are and pass that to the people who are actually going to buy the servers and buy the integrations and buy the automation software that's going to allow that to occur inside of Obtain and Build. Also, if we need to contract something, we're going to go and pass that over to Engage. We need to give them the contract and the agreement requirements that we need for service level agreements, service management agreements, and different contracts for supplies and partners, and send that through Engage out to those external entities. Another output is any new and changed products and services that we're going to get from the design and transition, and we're going to pass those and transition those over to Deliver and Support. Another thing when we start talking about knowledge and information, when we get knowledge and information about new and changed products or services, we're going to pass that not just to Obtain and Build, but to all of the different parts of the value chain activities, because Plans needs to know about it so they can figure out what version 2 and 3 and 4 is going to look like. We need to pass that over to Design and Transition ourselves as we design the next version. We need to pass that over to Obtain and Build so they can build the things as you design them. You need to pass it over to Deliver and Support so they know how to support it when it breaks. All the value chain activities need that knowledge and information about new or changed products. And finally, we want to make sure we're getting performance information and improvement opportunities out of the design and transition and back over to Improve. As we go through and we design and build something, we're going to find out that, hey, when we tried to design X system, we had problems 1, 2, and 3. We'll pass that over to Improve so they can come up with ways for us to improve our processes and make it more efficient. So when we look at this at the end of the day, when we start talking about design and transition as an activity, think about taking some idea from Plans, making it into what will be built in Obtain and Build. That's kind of the main focus. But there's all these other inputs and outputs for this activity because those are things that are going to happen in a non-sequential manner because things are happening all the times in rapid development when we're dealing with IT services.